Change your resume to match every job you are applying for. What? That sounds like a lot of work. And when they say tailored, targeted, custom, what do they mean? Don't be confused over words. They mean the same thing. Having a targeted resume is the only way your resume will be selected and you will be shortlisted and called for an interview. So don't worry, there's a simple way to write your resume to get hired. For the best career advice, subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell and you'll be notified when I post new videos every week. Hello goal-inspired professionals, welcome to my channel. My name is Yvonne Robinson, your career strategist and business coach. I am here to guide you through your career journey to be successful and build rewarding careers. And today I am going to show you how to write a targeted resume to land your dream job. You are certainly going to hear a lot from me about targeted resume because the targeted resume addresses the skills and the experience in the job description. But before we get there, we're going to talk a little bit about resume styles, because I find that job seekers are very confused. They're confused because there's so much information out there and so many different resume styles. So before you create the resume to apply for the job, let us talk a little bit about your resume style and the style that you're going to choose. The chronological resume is the most common. It lists your work experience in reverse chronological order, starting with the most recent to the least recent. The functional resume focuses on your skills and abilities rather than the years. And it is mostly used by the executives. So when we see a functional resume, as a seasoned recruiter, I look for gaps. I look to see why the person is using a functional resume, if there are any gaps in their resume. If it is an executive, a CEO, a director, I know that that's the way they're going to present their resume rather than tasks, because they are not doing the tactical things. They are more functional. So I look for the gaps if it is not a leader, a manager, a director. So when you're a very experienced recruiter, we know all the little tricks in the trade. So when you're writing your resume, consider the more transparent one, which we call the more transparent resume, because it lists the years and you can actually follow the years. So be careful. And if you have gaps in your resume, guys, it is not a crime to have gaps in your resume. So if you have gaps in your resume, just ensure that you will be able to explain those gaps. The third type of resume is the combination of the chronological and the functional. And in this kind of resume, it lists the skills and the experience before it starts listing the employment history or the work experience or the selected professional experience. I prefer the chronological resume because to me it is very transparent. We don't have to go asking any questions. You don't have to be defending anything. And with that kind of resume, it is easy for somebody to trace my years of experience from way back. So let us get to the presentation, where we're going to look at how the resume is presented on paper and the different sections. Just remember that your resume should be very clean and uncluttered. I am going to create a video with the do's and don'ts of a resume. So you will be getting that soon. And yes, I know you'll be getting that because I'm giving you a lot of nuggets, right? And you're going to subscribe to my channel, so you're going to get all those nuggets. So let us talk about presentation. Presentation is important. Your resume should be clean and uncluttered with distinct sections. And I have identified 8 sections. But you do not need to have all 8 sections in your resume. So it depends on your situation, okay? So that is why people tend to be confused when they read a lot of different resume types on the internet and resume sections. You do not need all of them. These are templates that you can customize for your own resume. But there are sections that we're reminding you of. So if your resume fit that style, if you have that information, you can add to your resume. So my 8 sections are: first, the contact information. It is very important that you have the contact information. Then there is your career summary. And as you realize, I did not say objective, I said summary. We'll talk a little bit more about that. There is your work history or selected professional experience. There is your skills summary. There's education and certification. There's professional development. And these last 2 are alternatives. You can have publications, associations, and memberships depending on the type of work you do. And if you have volunteering experience, number 8 would be volunteering experience or pro bono experience. Pro bono means that you work without getting paid. Contact information is very important on a resume. I have read resumes before where there's no contact information, and you have to be careful, guys. You do not want to do all this work and then forget the contact information, because we're not going to go searching for you, because there are many people who are applying for the same job. The next section, which is number 2 that we listed, is the career summary. And you will notice that I did not say objective. An objective is what you would like. It is your personal objective. When you're applying for a job, objective is not so important, because right now the client or the hiring manager or the company would like to know what you can do for them. So in order to bring your resume alive, because your resume is telling your story, you would need to have career summary. And a career summary is a snapshot of, or a snapshot view of a little bit of your history. Okay, so some people do not send in a cover letter, and I don't advocating sending cover letters everywhere. If you're sending your resume to a recruiter, you don't need a cover letter. Number 1, I have never read one in 15 years, and people sound surprised. No, I don't read them. So don't waste your time if you're sending it to a recruiter. So the career summary could take care of that, because the career summary is going to be targeted and specific. So if you do not know how to write a career summary, I am going to have you covered, because you are going to subscribe to my channel to get all my nuggets, and I am going to talk about a career summary that helps you to land your dream job. Okay, so career summary is very important, and you need to summarize your experience, and within that you're going to say something about how you are going to, what you have to offer to the client, how you're going to help them to address their pain points. Okay, so that is very important. So use career summary rather than objective, and it makes your resume sound more interesting. And the next section is your work history or selected professional experience. It is selected because you're not giving the entire work history, so I don't even call it work history. I put selected professional experience because it is targeted, it is specific to this job. This section is going to have another section or a few sections within it. So the first part is what I call the tombstone, and the tombstone includes, okay, so this is client 1. So you because you're listing them, you're listing your experience in reverse chronological order. The last work that you're doing, which is this job that you're in, or which is the last job that you left, this is what is going to be the client number 1. Then you're going to have the location, comma, then your job title, and then the duration. And duration, I have to say this before I forget it, cannot be year-year. It cannot be 2019 to 2020. 2019 to 2020 connotes 1 month. Could be December 2019 to January 2020, that's 1 month. But January 2019 to December 2020 is 2 years. And especially when we're working with government client and we need to demonstrate, because we're an intermediary, we have to demonstrate that you have, say, 10 years of experience. We need the months. So some people tell you not to put months on it. If they don't put months on it, you could be hiding something. Okay, just be transparent. Just put the months on the darn thing, and so that we don't have to come back to you with any questions. The least questions the more information that you give people about what they're looking for is the least questions that they will have for you, right? It's the least suspicious that they will be. So just write the resume, put the thing on it, and let us get on with it, okay? So you are going to make sure that you put the month and the year, okay? So you do that we call that the tombstone. The next section that I would like you to add is a description, a little description of the company. If you're in IT and your resume is project-based, you might want to put a description of the project. But for everybody else, put a little description of the company. Why? If you're in Jamaica, if you're in Trinidad, if you're in India, if you're in the United States and you're applying for a job in Canada and you worked with a local company that I do not know about and the recruiter doesn't know about, company is not very popular, but you did good work. It was a great company with 50 employees or 100 employees. You need to say what the company was doing because nobody knows the company. On the other hand, somebody could just put a company on their resume, a totally made up company, customize it to the job description, and say, yes, I have so many years of experience. So I want total transparency, and it's good for you to put total transparency on the resume. So put a little description, and the good thing about that is that when you're working for a company, it's good for you to know what business they're in, what they do, know the business side. So when you describe the company a little bit, good for you, because now you're telling the employer that you understand the company, what they're doing, what they're making, what their market is. So just put a short blurb about the company. And then after you've done that, then you know you're going to talk about you. So when you're talking about you now, you're going to list the tasks you perform or selected accomplishments, okay? So this is the interesting part. This part, your resume, your work life comes alive. Okay, it's great because now you get the chance to tell your story. You get the chance to say what you've done, for what and for whom, and the result. So this is a part of your resume where you take the job description and you number them in your mind, or you can number them on paper, but you're going to remove the number when you put them in your resume. You want to see how well you match that job description. It's very easy. I do not know why people think resumes are hard to write. So you take that job description, okay? And what I normally do, I number them. If there are 5 things that the company is looking for, or 10, I number them. I go through each experience that I have and I say, yes, I have number 1, I have number 2, I have number 3, I have about 70%. Nobody wants you to have everything, okay? Because we're not Jesus. Only Jesus knows everything. Only God knows everything. So we are looking for at least 70% of the job requirements. And we normally list them the most important first. So if you take the most important and you get covered the most important, and if you have that covered, golden. Take the job description, work it into your resume. Use action words: designed, created, facilitated. Use great action words to make your resume come alive, my friend. And you're going to give them the best resume, a resume that they cannot resist hiring you, because you took the job description, you worked it into your resume. They're asking you for this, that, and the other, and you're saying to them, yes, I've done it. I've done this for this, and this was the result. And the results could be 20% increase in sales. You can quantify the results. So that is how you make your resume come alive. The alive part is in selected professional experience. You take the job, You take the job description and you make your resume come alive, my friend. And they will not resist. They are going to call you, guaranteed, for an interview. So now that we have talked about the work history, and I don't like to call it work history, selected professional experience, because you're not giving them your work history. The next section is a skills summary. You're going to list all the skills that are relevant to this position. And the next one now is education and certifications. So for the education and certifications, you list You say what the degree or what the certificate was. For example, Master's in Business Administration, MBA, University of Toronto, year 1999. Or BSc in Psychology, BSc, Psychology, University of Ottawa, the year. After education and certification comes professional development. So that's section 6. Section 7 is publications and associations. This is alternate because if you are not a PhD, if you're not an academic, if you're not in academia, you probably don't need publications and certifications, right? So these ones are alternate sections. And this is going to be number 8, volunteer experience and pro bono experience. You could call it volunteer experience or you could call it pro bono experience. Pro bono experience. Now, this is if you have volunteered at certain organizations. Follow my link below and you'll get access to my free resume booster bundle. It has a resume template and a job searching tracker. Comment below and let me know if you're having any challenges in creating a targeted resume. But we have not yet addressed your resume length. The length of your resume depends, guys, on where you're sending it. Surprise! So the length of your resume depends on where you're sending it. And when we are sending it to the private sector, we go for around 5 pages. Okay, so don't listen to the pundits. It depends on where you're sending your resume. So you have to do a little bit of research to find out if the client would accept a longer resume or a shorter resume. Because trust me, if you have 10 years of experience, it's going to be very hard for you to get it on 2 pages. Right? If you have less experience, then you might be able to get it on 3 pages. But the length of your resume depends on your situation and depends on what the client is willing to accept. Okay? If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends and family. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was, and I look forward to reading all your comments and responding. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.